After years of claiming they were just trusting the science on kids undergoing dangerous and experimental procedures to change their gender, it appears many American doctors are finally moving away from that notion very quickly. A new article from the liberal Atlantic Mag highlighting how the medical field is taking a step back from so-called gender-affirming care for minors, even going so far as saying the evidence for youth gender medicine is quote-unquote shaky. Shocker, I know. The vast majority of Americans know this is common sense. So after years of deranged dogma in the mainstream media, we have to ask, what the heck took so long? So we bring in one of the best to discuss. Let's welcome in Matt Taibbi. He's editor-in-chief at Racket News. They've got a new newsletter debuting today on Substack. It aims to, quote, demystify Washington. I say good luck with that, Matt. A lot of people have struggled with that for years. Welcome.
Thanks for having me on, Ed.
You know, we've known this is common sense, yet as recently as July of last year, The Atlantic itself ran a cover on this pseudoscience, writing, quote, some writers see gender-affirming care as recommended by mainstream medical associations in many countries as the best way to the most fulfilling adulthood and the least painful teenage experience. Isn't it incredible how they've done a complete 180 here?
Well, this was inevitable, but the problem here is that it exposes something that's sort of fundamentally a problem with American journalism, which is that you can't report everything in the middle of a moral mania. They made things so difficult on ordinary scientists who wanted to say simple things like, scientifically, there's really only two sexes. And people lost their jobs. They were canceled. They lost their careers. They were kicked off the internet.
Yeah.
The consequences were enormous for this. And now to just sort of turn around and say, well, geez, we're sorry. That's not good enough. We have to basically get rid of this problem of terrorizing people who have a different opinion.
Yes, it's not good enough as well, as you say, for the kids who radically change their bodies and are going to be messed up for life. The amount of money that's going to be spent to try and fix this, both physically and mentally, is staggering. And yet, you just said all this common sense, and Hillary Clinton, who is this close a couple of times to being president of the United States, flipped out this weekend when someone said, there's two genders. Watch.
I think it is reaction for something for some policies that really went too far from the regular people, too far from reality. So, we saw the cancel culture. We saw the woke revolution. I don't agree with the gender revolution, the climate alarmism.
Which gender? Women having their rights?
I think there is male and female, and the rest probably is a social construct. So this is something that went too far.
But does that justify selling out the people of Ukraine who are on the front lines dying to save their freedom and their two genders, if that's what you're worried about?
Can I please finish my points? I'm sorry that it makes you nervous. I'm really sorry for that.
It makes you nervous. What does Ukraine have to do with answering a simple question? Are there two genders, Secretary Clinton, or not?
Well, even more to the point, what does Hillary Clinton have to do with anything? She doesn't represent the United States in any capacity. She's been elected. Why is she at the security conference representing the United States? That doesn't make any sense. But you see she very cynically in 2016 adopted the language of intersectionality, specifically to get rid of people who are challenging her on the left, the Bernie Sanders movement.
Yeah.
And now she's all in on all these things. And you're absolutely right. The trans issue has nothing to do with Ukraine, but they just want to bully people who have a different opinion. And they want to use issues like that.
Absolutely. Matt Taibbi, good luck on Substack with the new newsletter. Look forward to having you soon. Thank you.